Happy New Year. So I know many times people are moving away from New Year's resolutions. However, I think that it is nice to have some resolutions or goals, particularly as it relates to your sales for the new year. And so today I wanted to share some New Year's sales resolutions that I think will be very beneficial for you in 2022. I'm Dr. Nadia, founder of the Doyen Agency and creator of Straight Talk About Sales with Dr. Nadia. Tune in and let's talk about New Year's sales resolutions. I'll see you there. About you, but it is still very challenging for me to admit and recognize that we are now in a brand new year. Welcome to 2022. Oh my gosh, I feel like last year just went whoop, like that. So here we are. We'll see how things go this year. But the good news is whether last year was fabulous or whether it was not, or you were somewhere in between, you have a brand new year and a brand new start. And that, my friend, is exciting. And today I wanted to chat about some New Year's sales resolutions as you're looking at your business, as you're looking at your plans for the year, or if you're like a lot of my clients, they break it down into quarters. Doesn't matter. We want to have some goals, some resolutions, and things that we can focus on for this upcoming year to make this year better than last year. So the first thing that I want you to commit to doing is getting clear on a goal. Now you may be like, Dr. Nadia, duh, but I've seen it time and time again, whether it's a sales goal, a revenue goal, or even an impact goal. Because one of the things that I get a lot is, it's not about the money, Dr. Nadia. No problem. Then if it's not necessarily about the money, because we all know you need money and revenue to go in your business in order for it to function and operate, then what's the impact? How many clients would you like to work with this year? Is it 50? Is it 10? Is it 100? Is it 1,000? What is that number? So that you have something that you are now working towards, and you can now break that bigger number up into smaller chunks. And you can say, okay, now you have something to track to see if you're moving forward to actually hit your goal. That's one of the reasons why at the end of the year, we look back and we're like, what happened is because we didn't necessarily have a clear goal. So if it's not an actual sales goal or a revenue goal, it could be an impact goal. It could be a giving goal. I had a coach that had a tithe goal every year. That was an amount of money she wanted to be able to give away. And she had a certain calculation on how she created that number. Great. Doesn't matter. Just set the goal. So have a goal that you are working towards and share that goal with your team. And if you don't yet have a team, share it with your coach or your accountability partner, so you have someone to talk to and through with those goals. So each week I meet with my accountability team as well as my team, and we talk about the goals. So I have my accountability partners, and each week we meet and we talk about what's going on, what goals have you set, what challenges you're running into, how can we help? And then I also have regular meetings, not necessarily weekly, with my entire team, where we're also talking about the same things. And so here's my big vision. Here's a goal that we're working towards. And it's this, especially for those of you who have a team, share with your team how their role impacts different goals. And I think that really helps when I understand as a team member how the thing that I do impacts this number, that it makes a big difference. Obviously, I do sales, so it's really easy for me. Like they're like, this is our sales goal, so I get it. But if I'm doing something different, like social media or maybe customer service or something like that, I don't necessarily always see how the thing that I do impacts that when it's not as clear cut as when you're sales. Like that one's easy. So have a goal. And I think it's important to have the goal, write the goal down, and share the goal with someone that's going to hold you accountable, because now you'll have a way to just track. It sounds great at the beginning of the year. We're going to make $1 million. We're going to hit 10 million, whatever. Fabulous. what happens in September, October, July, right? Are you on track? And then you can take that big goal, break it into smaller milestones, and you can start to see if you're on track or a lot sooner if you're in trouble so that you can make the necessary adjustments. So, number one, set a goal. Number two, build in your self-care time. Now, this is huge for me, and I hear it a lot in terms of making sure you are building in the time to take care of yourself, whether that's going ahead and planning out all of your vacations for the year. I have a couple of clients that have actual, what they call project weeks in their business. So every single month, they take a week out of the business and they're working on their business. So these companies actually are they're service-based. Most of my clients are service-based, and they're so busy focusing on their clients' businesses that they don't necessarily have time to work on their own businesses. So they have those weeks to work on their business, but also to take time off. So those are just weeks that clients know they're unavailable and they get to use that time as they see fit. So whether it's vacation time or, like I said, working on projects within their own business, then they get to do that. So I think it's important that you build in that time in order to keep you together. This business won't function if you are a hot mess. So we need you to be functioning operationally, optimally, I should say. And the thing is, even if you're at that place, which a lot of people I know are working towards, where I have a team, you still need to be clear in your mind. So a vision, and you can see and be on top of all the different things that are happening, and you have a clear focus, and you're starting to see in the indicators in the market that there might be a shift coming, and you're not caught by surprise because you're not so busy grinding that you are unaware of what's happening in the world around you. So building in self-care time is so important. So take the time to build in self-care, look at your own business and how can you determine what that looks like for your team. Is it end of year that you guys take time off and your team's just shut down the last 2 weeks of the year? Or maybe you're a parent and you're like, you know what? I want to be able to take summertime off and end of year off. Or you're like, you know what? That doesn't bother me. I don't care about end of year. I love, that's when I want to do all my things. So I may want to take off a random month in the year, like, I don't know, May. And just, that's the month that I don't want to be working and I want to take time off. It doesn't matter. Figure it out and build in that time in your business, because again, you want to go back to your goals and then look at your overall strategy. What do I have to have in place and what do I need to do to make this possible? So building your self-care time, number two. Number three, commit to reviewing your numbers on a regular basis. You get to determine what regular is, but looking at your numbers, again, going back to your goal. What goal did you set? What are you working towards? What are the things that you need to do? But also whether it's daily, whether it's weekly or monthly. I don't recommend going beyond monthly and looking at your numbers, but not just your revenue numbers, looking at your client numbers, looking at your impact numbers, looking at if you have social media, your marketing and advertising numbers, like taking a moment to really evaluate the things that you're doing to see, are they working optimally in your business? Are they doing what you want them to do? And what tweaks do you need to make? Too often we're just doing and we're not taking enough time to pause, reflect, evaluate, and adjust. Like we all need to do those things. So I want you to take some time to review your numbers and just decide, is it monthly? Is it weekly? Is it daily? How often am I, and which numbers am I going to track and how often? And so if you're meeting with your accountant on a regular basis or your financial person, that's great. You can talk about all these different things that are happening in your business. And so that you have a clear picture of what's going on. And we're not waiting until December to decide, oh, wait, I didn't realize that I was $250,000 away from hitting my goal. Right? Like we are really clear all throughout this year. We are armed with the information that we need in order to make the adjustments that we need to make before December. Number four, work in smaller bite-sized chunks. Like I know I've been talking about this year, but I've also talked about having a bigger goal and then breaking it into smaller chunks. So let's just use, again, we hear this number a lot. Actually, so let's just say your revenue goal for this year is 250,000. Revenue goal, that means 250,000. The goal is to have that in your bank account. So your sales goal is likely going to be slightly higher, especially if you extend people the opportunity to make payments. And then again, there are a couple of things you need to look at, not just the number, but then how are your programs set up and your payment terms set up to ensure that even people that may enroll later in this year in a program, that revenue contributes to the goal and it works to your benefit in helping you achieve that goal. So you may not want to wait and do all of your launches and all of your offers and open enrollment at the end of the year. You might want to front load the year and do some things that way. If your fiscal year is January to December, it may not be. Your fiscal year may end in June. It may be July to June. So again, you're looking at these different things and understanding how they operate, but breaking it down into smaller chunks. So a lot of times you break it into 12 weeks or into quarters. So you have a quarter and, here are the things that I'm going to be doing over the next 12 weeks. Here are the things that we're going to be doing each week. And you are really clear and you don't get stuck in that space of overwhelm. I think when we have the bigger things, whether it's a big number or a big goal or whatever, we just sometimes it can feel so overwhelming because our vision is so big that it causes us to just get stuck. And now you're just paralyzed because you can't function. And so it's nice to okay, great. My goal is 250. Great. I would like to do that in 10 months. So that means I'll have 2 months where things don't have to necessarily be on track, or they're just strawberries with cream on top if I actually hit it, right? So if I have 10 months where I bring in 25,000 in revenue, that is money actually in the bank. I have 2 months out of a 12-month calendar year where we may not hit that goal. We may not. That's okay. And if we hit it, great. That means I've exceeded my goal. But again, it gives you that wiggle room, right? Which leads me to number 5, and that is add in contingencies. As much as I like to plan, God knows I love to put it together, a good plan and a good strategy. I also, from years of experience, know that things rarely ever go according to plan. So building contingencies for your offers, building contingencies for your health. Like, what if something happens? Like, really start to think about the what ifs. I think the last couple of years have taught all of us, whether we were on top of it or not, to really, at minimum, to think about what contingencies we might put in place for our businesses in case something goes wrong or something just doesn't work out the way we thought it might. So again, as you're looking at your big goals and you're putting together your plans, it's always nice to just having some built-in contingencies of things that we might do or might implement, or what I like to call some things in your back pocket, just in case something just does not go according to plan. And it's not setting yourself up to fail, it's really just being prepared. Because when you think about your contingencies in a space where you're not stressed and you're just like, what happens? And what's the chance of this happening? You're putting together your risk analysis. And it really gives you and your team the opportunity to come up with some great ideas and plans in a place of being level-headed versus you're already under, the water is rising, right? And your panic is rising along with it. And take it from me, you are not coming up with the best ideas in that moment. You're just like, I just need to survive. So taking time to build in some contingencies, break glass in case of emergency, right? And so what are some of the things that you and your team may or may not do based on how things go throughout this year? And these are the things that I invite you to commit to for your New Year's sales resolutions. It's beautiful being a business owner. We have so many amazing things that we get to do, so many lives we get to impact. And at the same time, it's also a great responsibility. And so having these different resolutions in place will help you to have a stellar year, but also to have a lasting impact. So here's to an amazing 2022. I wish you great success, lots of sales, lots of impact to your clients and their lives, also to your life and your family's life. Let's go out and have an amazing year. And let's just resolve that we're going to go into it with a strategy and a plan. Again, Happy New Year.